So over the weekend, I did have a chance to watch the critically acclaimed Contagion, and although it came out 2011, which is a serious long time ago, but things couldn't be more relevant today. And first off, I want to say I love the cast, star-studded cast. To see all these stars in this one movie, and I feel like this movie was real low budget. Like, no, I'm like, I can't really recall anything in 2011 like per se, but I didn't think that this was even in the movies because this movie was like an hour and 40 something minutes. Like, but I just want to say that the star-studded cast in this, from Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Moss, that chick that played Poison Ivy and Batman Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises. Forgot that French chick's name, but yeah, she's a talented actress. I just hated that she was like in two scenes and that was it. Like she was working for the hospital or CDC, and then she goes to China, and this is like the only thing that pissed me off about the movie. Everything else was pretty much good, but it's just this. I feel like they chopped so much of that part off that it was just done. That she goes to China to find out what happened and what started the strain, and then she gets kidnapped. She goes to the village, and she's being held hostage along with the villagers and the people who kidnapped her until they find a vaccine for the virus. Then she gets, they find the vaccine comes, she gets traded, for the vaccine, and then she gets to the airport, and the guy was telling her, yeah, it's a fake vaccine. Then she runs off. That was it. So I'm like, they only paid this lady for like 5 scenes. That's about it. And that was like the only thing that pissed me off with this movie. I feel like Gwyneth Paltrow did a phenomenal job of looking sick, and then that hospital scene where she like, oh, I was just like, yeah, that looked like something that could really go on in the ER when you don't really know what's really going on. And I just love the premise of it. Like, it's showing from how this thing started versus, in the beginning, it's showing everything that a human could touch, humans looking at them. Like, everything can be a transmittable disease or for a virus. And like I said, that couldn't be more relevant today as, you're in a grocery store, or, all these panic buys for food, and everything is really, really taking effect. And then you see how the panic is on the Contagion, how everybody was going crazy trying to find stuff because it's like a pandemic that, any and everybody could be killed at once. So it's kind of like a biological warfare where everybody will go crazy. And it reminded me of The Dark Knight when Joker was like, these people have a moral code. Like, all you got to do is introduce a little fear, and their little code goes out the window. These people will eat each other. I just want to show you that these people don't have morals. Like, people in general don't have morals like they say they do. These people can go to church every Sunday, and you'll see when something like this happens what their true colors is, and everybody goes crazy. And you've seen other movies like that, like The Purge. You see how people would really go nuts. You know what I'm saying? So I like seeing that because it's like that's a true glimpse of what people will really do and the measures that they will take to try to feed the wrong, So that's why I like this movie, because it showed how fast things were going. And it started off with Gwyneth Paltrow and Matt Damon, how she's coming home and getting sick. Then the boy got sick, their son, he dies from it. So it's just going at a fast, rapid pace. Unfortunately, Matt Damon couldn't get sick because, he has genes, chromosomes that just makes him automatically immune to it. So everybody's not going to die because he's just automatically immune to it. And it sucked when they found out that she had got it. Then it was like, yeah, a guy in Chicago had got it. He's dead, and then she turns up dead. So they're calling him. It's like, yeah, how did this person, did you know this person? He was like, yeah, that's her ex. And she stopped in Chicago. So he amid of her of his wife's death, he also finds out that she's cheating on him. So that's why it's like that's a lot to take in. And then your son dies, like their stepson dies, and then, all he has left is his daughter. So now he has to protect his daughter. And then it goes into the CDC. And I like how Jude Law was that crazy blogger back then when Blogger was kind of blowing up, to find news fast. This crazy blogger telling everyone like, hey, you can't get sick from this, or you have this just type of treatment that's going to cure everybody, so don't trip. And a lot of news people had went to him for information, and they all started selling this treatment. He was selling the treatment because he was one of the ones who profited from this treatment, and everybody still got sick. So it shows that. Then it goes to CDC, how they're trying to find ways to find out what's wrong, what's the root cause, and then they're going through their EPIs as far as their trace back ability of what can we do to find this virus, find the virus, and then find a vaccine for it. So they're, a rush against the clock. And then I feel like Kate Moss was that field employee to go out to go do this. And amid of her going out to go find, try to find the host and trying to find these things, she inevitably gets sick and she dies. So I was like, dang, I ain't never seen Kate Moss like die before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, dang, like she dies. I want to make sure it's Kate Moss. Me saying that so wrong. I want to make sure it's Kate Moss. It's Kate Winslet, not Kate Moss. Getting the two Kates mixed up. She almost looks like Emily Blunt too. But I mean, Kate Winslet, I never really seen her die in movies. You know what I'm saying? And this is like the first movie I saw her like die as she's really trying to find what this is. You know what I'm saying? So she dies, and then they really do find a vaccine for it. But you've seen so many people had died from this virus. And I just love the timeline. Like, it started with day 2, then it's like, look at day 14, day 27. And like in the span of like a couple of days, like in a few weeks, look how many people done died. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's so relevant today watching this. It's available on Amazon Prime and I believe a couple of channels or something like that on demand. But I just feel like everyone should check this out to see how fast these things can spread, knowing that the COVID-19 is somewhat airborne because I've seen that it can hover in airborne spaces for up to 2 to 4 hours. It can still stay on plastic, copper, and metal for a couple of days. So it's very easy to catch. And, before all these rumors in the beginning of the month, all these rumors of, oh, black people can't get it, it's only for elderly and infants who are more susceptible, immune to it. Then after a while, you start seeing celebrities get it, NBA stars get it. You're starting to see people that are not elderly or children, they get it and they're dying. So that's why it's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is a true pandemic and this is truly, truly of epic scale. But like I said, you see how people do things amid this type of pandemic. Like, I've seen the news where, these kids are still at spring break in Miami at the beach. I'm just kind of like, golly, man. Like I said, you see everyone's morals and you see how, their code is just gone. It's just like, you look at it like, be smart to try to save your own life. But if it's like, people have that idea of, man, if it's my time to die, it's my time to die. So they live in life to the fullest. So that's why I said, I'm like, in this movie, you just see a disease and a virus kind of like the one that we have now spread as fast as crazy. And then at the end of the movie, you see how the virus was started, which would come from bats. Then the bat droppings drop into the swine pig farm. The pig farm gets sold off into a slaughterhouse, which a slaughterhouse in China is kind of like farmers markets. You can slaughter an animal and then take it with you. So you're consuming that, and then it's just, touching things, touching your phone, touching your keys. So it was just crazy, and then like I said, you had to wash your hands and, spray things down with Lysol, make sure you're spraying everything, try not to get these type of things, and, just taking the proper precautions. So that's why I really, really like this movie. I really give this movie a 9 out of 10. I just really, really hate that it was only an hour and 43 minutes, like, or hour and 40 minutes, something like that. But I just felt like it could have been like a runtime of at least 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that to kind of fully fledge out this story and see how long it really takes for vaccines to be put in play. I really, really enjoyed this. I really hope you guys watch this as you guys are sitting at home being quarantined. So, if you guys enjoyed my review of Contagion, starring Kate Winslet, Lawrence Fishburne, Matt Damon, Gwyneth Paltrow, amongst others, subscribe to my channel, post comment down below, like the video. It's your boy, D Dyson. Peace.